today we're going to work on multiplying fractions. So I want you to open your IMJ to your next blank page. And if yours looks like mine, where there's writing on the left side but no writing on the right side, I want you to turn to the next page so you have two blank pages right next to each other. Also, you should have a piece of paper that looks like this. This is where we're going to start with. So, over on this side where it says tips, we're going to put whole numbers over the number 1. So if you have 5, it would go 5 over 1 to write it as a fraction. So here's an example. Simplify and or cancel before multiplying because it's easier than at the end. And the last one on there, rewrite mixed numbers as improper fractions, then convert back when you have an answer if needed. Alright, so whole numbers go over 1, simplify or cancel before you multiply, and rewrite mixed numbers as improper fractions, then convert back at the end. So let's look at the first example up here. You have 3/5 times 6. Well, right away, what do I notice? I notice I have one fraction and one whole number. So I'm going to rewrite 6 as a fraction. So I'm going to rewrite 3/5 times 6 over, and what do I put on the bottom? Place a 1 to change it into a fraction. Now, can I cancel anything out or can I simplify anything? No, because 3 and 6 are both in the top. One would have to be in the top, one would have to be in the bottom, so nothing reduces. So 3 times 6 gives me 18. 5 times 1 gives me 5. Can I leave my answer like that? No, because it is top heavy. The top number is larger than the bottom number. So I need to ask myself, how many 5s go into 18? Well, 3 5s would give me 15. So then from 15 to 18, I'd have 3 left over, and I keep my denominator the same. So my answer is 3 3/5. Alright, let's look at the next one. I've got two fractions. Do I need to rewrite anything? Nope. Do I need to reduce anything, or can I reduce anything? Again, I can't reduce anything, so I'm going to multiply straight across the top, straight across in the bottom. So 5 times 3 gives me 15. 8 times 4 gives me 32. Now, if we reduce correctly at the beginning, you shouldn't have to reduce at the end. So my final answer would be 15 over 32. Next one, 16 over 21 times 7 over 12. So can anything reduce? Is there any number that comes out of a number that's in the top and the bottom? So if I look at these two numbers here, one's in top, one's in bottom, is there anything in common between a 16 and a 12? So I'm looking for the GCF of 16 and 12. So 4. So 16 divided by 4 gives me 4. 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. Anything else reduce? Is there any common factors between 7 and 21? 7 is. So 7 goes into 7 one time. 7 goes into 21 3 times. Now I can't cancel these 3's since they're both in the bottom. So now I'm going to multiply across. So 4 times 1 gives me 4. 3 times 3 gives me 9. So my final answer is 4/9. What about 3 fractions? So I got 2/15 times 9/14 times 5/7. So the first thing I want to look at is, does anything reduce? Well, I notice this 5 and this 15. A 5 goes into 5 and 5 goes into 15. So this becomes a 1 and that becomes a 3. Now by doing that, I now have 3 and 9. A 3 can go out of those. So 3 can go into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 3 1 time. So once I get a 1, I'm done. So I know this number and this number are done. But now I look, I've got a 2 and a 14, so that becomes a 7, that becomes a 1. Now I'm left with a 3, a 7, and a 7, and 3, 7, and 7 are all prime, so nothing's going to go into them. So I've got 3 times 1 times 1, which gives me 3. 1 times 7 times 7 gives me 49. So my final answer is 3/49. Let's try the mixed numbers. So mixed numbers I need to rewrite as improper fractions first. So when I do that, I take 4 times 7, and then I'm going to add 6. So 4 times 7 gives me 28, plus 6, 34, and I keep the bottom number the same as 7. Same thing here. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 gives me 3. Now I want to look, does anything reduce? Well, 34 and 2, so this becomes a 1. 34 divided by 2 gives me 17. I know 3's prime, and I know 7's prime, which means 17 isn't going to be able to be reduced. So now I got to take 17 times 3. So 3 times 7 gives me 21. So place my 1. Carry a 2. 3 times 1 plus 2 gives me 5. 7 times 1 gives me 7. Now, can I leave my answer like that? No, because my top number is too large. So how many 7s go into 51? 7, which would give me 49. So I'd have 2 left over, so 7 and 2 7s. Now I want you to try these 6 problems at the bottom. When you're done, there's a second video I want you to go on and watch to check your work. So, work these 6 problems out, then go back and check your work.